Hello, my tribe, and everybody out there in YouTube land. I want to continue on with starvation. It's a topic that people believe erroneously that it could never happen here in the United States. To believe that is to believe some kind of fairy tale. All you have to have are the right conditions. Most of the mass starvations that have happened in the last century or so have been because political reasons. One group who feels a certain way, communist socialists, are trying to take over, and the other group is resisting, so they simply starve them into submission. Holodomor, Mao's famine, a lot of others. It's kind of a taboo topic. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody believes it can happen. Everyone believes that the government will come and fix it. And usually the government is the problem. So I want to read you something from Frank Decoter's book titled Mao's Great Famine. This is a description of what happens to the body when you're starving. Beginning on page 284, people really did die of starvation. In contrast to many other famines where disease loomed large on the horizon of death. Starvation, in a strict clinical sense, means that the attrition of protein and fatty deposits in the body causes the muscles to waste away and eventually stop functioning, including the heart. Adults can survive for weeks without food as long as they can drink water. The fat stored in the body provides the main source of energy and is broken down first. A small amount of calories are also stashed away in the liver as glycogen, which is generally converted within a day. But as soon as the fatty deposits have been exhausted, proteins are stripped from muscles and other tissues and used by the liver to produce sugars needed by the brain, the body's first priority. The brain quite literally starts cannibalizing the body, taking bits of this or that tissue to come up with the glucose it needs to survive. Blood pressure lowers, which means that the heart has to work harder. The body weakens and progressively becomes emaciated. As proteins are depleted, fluids start leaking out of the blood vessels and from disintegrating tissues accumulating beneath the skin and in cavities around the body, producing edema. The swelling first appears in the face, the feet, and the legs, but fluids can also gravitate around the stomach and chest. Swollen knees make walking painful. Taking extra salt or watering down a meal to make it last longer only worsens the condition. But some of the starving do not suffer from edema and dehydrate instead, their skin turning to parchment, shriveled and scaly, sometimes covered with brown spots. As the throat muscles weaken and the larynx dries up, the voice grows hoarse before falling silent. People tend to curl up to save energy. The lungs weaken. The face caves in, the cheekbones stand out, and bulging eyeballs are a gruesome white, staring vacantly and seemingly without emotion. The ribs poke through the skin, which hangs in folds. Arms and legs look like twigs. Black hair loses its color and falls out. The heart has to work harder still, as the volume of blood actually increases relative to a declining body weight. In the end, the organs are so damaged that they fail. Okay, so that's not a very nice picture of what can happen if you don't have a sufficient supply of food. And a lot of things can interrupt the supply of food. I personally think asymmetrical warfare will dictate that some terrorist organization or foreign power will take down our power grid. That will cause starvation. Without electricity, our system of growing and conveying food ceases to exist. Stop and think about it. Think about it long and hard. What do we depend on electricity for? The answer is just about everything. You need to think that through. The CME could also take down the power grid. Coronal mass ejection, the energy ejected from the sun. The sun's getting very active. Magnetic poles are moving very rapidly. Magnetic pole flip could cause problems. Large groups with differing ideas from what you and I may hold can cause problems. Terrorist activity. That's coming up. It's looming on the horizon. Change in power here in the United States is coming up very quickly. And I don't think the opposition is going down without a fight. You need to store calories. You need to store a lot of calories. You need to have the tools to get through a time where the modern transportation system doesn't exist. Modern farming doesn't exist. Grow your own food. Be a net producer of calories, not a net consumer of calories. Raise Flemish giant rabbits or American rabbits, California rabbits. Some meat family type rabbits. Chickens. Get your own chickens. Trying to tell me that chickens aren't disappearing off the markets? Do whatever you can to get off the system, to be independent. There's a lot of value in independence. I'm a big proponent of it. Learn to garden, even if it's just growing some of your own herbs and spices. Anything's a help, and you're learning. It's a learning curve, steep learning curve. You don't want to go off a cliff and find yourself at the bottom by going straight down. You want to create a ramp for yourself to go down on. So get to it, folks. Get to it. God bless you all. Take care. Tomorrow's Christmas. Merry Christmas.